Alright everybody, it's a new day, and the bumper is about, as fixed as I'm going to get it. You can kind of see right here one of the parts that I glued back on using JB Weld. It has some little imperfections. You can kind of see the gray. I'm not really tripping off that. I was going to paint over because I was going to paint over that, but now knowing that I need a new hood, matter of fact, look, you can kind of see, let me see if I can zoom in on that crack in the hood where you can see where it's bent. It's not, there we are, see that crack? So yeah, the whole hood is bent. It needs a new hood. So I'm not even going to bother painting that. Maybe I might try to seal it up a little bit so it doesn't rust, but I won't keep this hood on there that long that it end up rusting like that. So, you know, then it has these little blemishes here. So I'm not really going to worry about that. And you can see how it's pushed in because you can see some of the screws. And that's not supposed to look like that. The hood actually, the grill should be out to like here. And it's pushed back that much, almost like an inch or a half an inch at least. This right here I didn't bother gluing because it can be screwed down. And let me just say that JB welded this piece together. That stuff is so strong, this will not break. This is not cracking at all. And in fact, the plastic will break before this seam does. So I did that, and I also did this piece right here, and this one came out really good. You can barely see anything. Well, you see some spots right there. So now all this was missing, and now this is back there, and it covers up at least most of the connector. You still see a little bit of the wire right there, but honestly this little piece right here can block a little bit of the elements, but the other part that was mostly exposed that I was concerned about is all covered up now. So that's really what I was trying to do, is protect the wires. So what we're going to do today is the final thing, and to actually get it road worthy, and that is change the brakes and rotors. Look at those bad boys. You probably can't see anything, but if I lighten it up a bit, all right, you can look at those. So we're gonna go change those. Now, I already did one repair. I did the back, and that was eventful. I should have filmed it. So like I had to, oh boy, I had to take the backing plates off of the pads. It was, and then saw that the calipers are actually really messed up. The boots are torn, so I know dirt and debris is getting inside of them. I'm just going to take the calipers off my other Phaeton and replace them. You know, replace these later on. And yeah, let's go get started. All right, so I've already done the driver's side. We can go take a look at it. Cocking the wheel is going to be definitely necessary. So that one's already done. I just did that because it was facing the street, and I wanted to just get that done before people got home from work. But I wanted to go ahead and show that a couple things. So these holes here are so that you can mount the rotor to the hub. So you just take a little screw and it just holds it in place for you, and that makes it much easier, you know, to put the brake pads back on and mount the tire. But these holes don't line up. At least they didn't on the passenger side, so they don't line up properly, which is not an issue because the wheel holds the rotor onto the car anyway. So along with the brake pads, especially once you compress them, and it holds it in place. The calipers, all that stuff hold the rotor on. That little screw is not really doing anything. It's just for placement, and it makes changing the rotors a lot easier. But I did match these up. If we go and compare them, this is not really side by side. Ow! Oh God, they hurt. All right, so they look to be the same width, but the factory rotor seems to be a little bit thicker. I didn't measure it, but the edges on the Powerstop rotors are slightly beveled, so you know that could be why they appear to be thinner. But I'm gonna go and get to work because this looks like it's about to rain. Alright, now right here what you want to do, you want to dust plate right off. Use a flathead screwdriver to do that. Now after that, it's kind of like a regular brake job. We're just going to loosen up the caliper pins, remove those, and then we're going to hang the caliper bracket. We also need to remove this connector. This is the connector going to the actual brake pad. We just unclip it. I probably can't do this with one hand. Nope. And then you're gonna want to twist this out. Okay, I can't do this with one hand either, but you want to rotate this and then pull it out. If you look, see here's the brake pad. See, it had a whole bunch of meat left on it. It was new, but they didn't bed them in properly. And I personally don't have any other car that has something like this where the sensor is just built into the brake, so they don't have those little pieces of metal that screech against the rotor when it's time to replace them. So while I've been out here, I'm cleaning up. I'm done now. I look over to my right and look who's been watching me the whole time. Well, they're not watching me now, but they were.